Hi, John Montgomery here from Benson Alfa Romeo and Fiat in Greer, South Carolina. Online at bensonfiat.com or bensonalfa.com. There's my contact information. Let me step back a moment, and you're looking at a 2019 Alfa Romeo Quadrafolio Giulia. Beautiful car. It's got the Rosso competition, yellow calipers, and nice interior. It's a stunning vehicle. This is a used vehicle that we sold new in October of 2019. Now, it's been traded in and it's about to go to a new owner, and so I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you a little bit about the battery post connections and what you can do to make sure that your Alfa performs exactly the way it's supposed to every single time. So let's go into the battery compartment here, and I've got a few things set up to show you today. And again, this is some of the tools that I use to clean the post connections. I use a 10mm socket right here on a quarter ratchet. I use a little bit of cleaning tools, a post cleaner. I use a Phillips screwdriver, a wire brush, and some No-Corrode Gel. So let's get started, and I'm going to set it up here where you can see what I'm doing. I've opened up the battery door. As you notice, it's got two little tabs on it. That's what opens it up. You can do it with your thumb. I'll just set that in the back, and let's take a look at what we got here. This is a Varta battery. This is the factory OEM battery, and of course these cars all come from across the ocean, and you can see on this exposed metal right here where the braze is, you can see some corrosion developing. Let's look in the back here. We can see on the back negative post, that's our negative side, you can see corrosion developing on the top. Let me show you. If I put my finger on here, rub it a little bit, you'll see a white patina, okay? And that is corrosion that's happening there. Now there's a post fuse array protective plate right here. You push these two little tabs to take it off. So I'm going to pull that off of here, and that is our fuse array. Now if you want to learn more about the fuse array, I made up a little sheet here for you to show you what is involved with the fuse array. This is all on the positive side. It shows you what all those fuses are across there. It shows you where your pyrotechnic sensor is, so you can take a look at that whenever you want and see exactly what you're doing there. Remember, if you're ever going to jump this car off with any kind of battery kind of jumper cables, you want to go from the inside of the hood assembly. There's a jump off point, negative post on the passenger front fender line right there that runs up, and then there's also a positive connection right back where the windshield cowl is. So I'm going to set this camera down right here so we can kind of watch what's going on. Carefully set it down here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, there we go. Okay, the first thing we want to do is remove the negative ground, and the best way to do that is there's a little quick connector right here. You just push this little tab. You see that? I push that little tab, and that's what removes it. That's what the inside of it looks like. If you look closely, you can see a little bit of white patina forming in there. That's not good. That's your corrosion. All right, we'll set this aside for right now, and we'll go ahead and take our 10mm socket, and we'll back this nut off just a little bit. Don't need to do a whole lot, and it should just come off. All right, let's take a look at it. Doesn't look too bad. It's got pretty clean connection right here. This is supposed to be nice and clean. You can see a little bit of discoloration on here, and this is the snap connector for the battery post. And so this needs to be, make sure this is clean, and we're going to put a little bit of protective gel on here. This is your intelligent battery sensor, IBS sensor. It comes on all Alphas, and that's part of the equipment you get. Now let's take a quick look at this post back here. Now we've got the negative off. It's safe to work inside the cabin here. If you notice up on the top, it's got a gray looking patina right here. Okay, that's corrosion. We need to clean that off. You can see a little gray shadow running down through there. That's corrosion. So we're going to go ahead and clean that off, and I'll show you how to do that. We just take our little battery tool and just go back and forth a few times, make sure that's clean. We'll get our little wire brush. I keep one of those handy, and make sure you get all that off the top. It's very important. It's almost like rust on a car. You know, you want to get rid of it 100%, because you don't want to do this more than one time if you can help it. This is not protocol for PDI delivery. A lot of cars come in, they already got some corrosion going on. That's what gives you problems later. And here's one of the reasons why. This is a vent door right here. When you slam the trunk, you're going to get air coming through here, but you know, sea air gets through here, and guess where it goes? Right there, and right on the positive post. So this is a typical issue that you get on these cars. So we've got this one cleaned off. So now we have to take off this side. So in order to do that, there's two little Phillips screws right here. We want to go ahead and undo these Phillips screws. We want to back them off. It's a little tight working in here. Now you don't have to take it completely up and out, so you don't have to worry about losing the little fastener. This is a little plastic red tab that holds down the fuse array, and this is called a fuse array. And we've got one side done. Let's go to this other side. Let's go ahead and clean this off, get this off of here. I'm going to go all the way up, but we don't have to take the screws completely out. Counterclockwise, of course, to take the screws up. All right, so now we've pretty much got those up. Now, back here in the back, we've got a 10mm nut, just like we did a few minutes ago. So we'll go back here, and we're going to put that on there. And we're going to back that nut off a little bit. And then we're going to be able to pull this whole array up off of the battery. So you just have to wiggle it a little bit and it comes up. Now, let's gently turn this over. Always be careful when handling these. All right, folks, do you see that? That is corrosion right here. This is corrosion. This has been going on since this car was new and shipped overseas. This is why the North American cars have issues and the European delivered cars do not. They don't have to go through 700, 800, 1,000 hours of ocean time. And this unprotected connection right here is the root cause of many false flag issues that we see here in North America. So what we want to do is clean this off. And I've got my little post cleaner right here. And I'm going to take this and clean it. I'm going to clean the contact surfaces, especially where the battery post meets the connection. Now this is made out of aluminum. This is one of the problems. This is an aluminum band clamp. They use a lead post and they use a CAD plated bolt. You've got three dissimilar metals. So, you know, our basic electrolysis high school or junior high school lessons tell us that when you have dissimilar metals, you tend to breed corrosion, and aluminum is the most corrodable metal on the chart. So I think it's a very bad selection if you don't protect them. And now, if we take a peek at that post, it's got a little bit of gray patina on it too, so we're going to need to knock that off of there. So in order to do that, we're going to take our post cleaner. Remember, we've got everything disconnected, so not a big deal. We're going to clean this off good. We'll take our wire brush and get back in there. I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to clean this off. Just make sure it's good. All right, now we also want to clean off this negative over here. So even though it looks pretty good, let's go ahead and run this cleaner in there. Make sure we get everything off. Have a nice bonding surface. We can take our wire brush and kind of scrub that just a little bit. You see where that little brown patina there is going away. We want bare metal, absolute bare metal. Okay, now here's the secret right here. Non-Corrode Gel. You can buy this at any parts store for about $2. What you want to do is push out a little bit of this stuff right here. I'm going to put it on this. I'm going to put it on this. I'm going to put it on this battery post over here. Don't need a lot. Put it on this right here. And I'm going to take a little bit and put it on this contact surface. All right, now take our finger and we're gonna just move all this around and coat it good. Where you saw the corrosion, we want to make sure we cover that completely. It doesn't have to be a very thick spread, you just want to get it all around. Let's do this positive back here. Make sure that's down. Let's get the negative on this side. All right, let's get this post connection assembly. You can see where there's a little tab there. That's what is the positive engagement there. Let's get this nice and clean. Okay, that's all there is to it. All right, now next thing we need to do is go ahead and put this fuse array back down. And if you notice, here's our little locating pins right here. So we want to go ahead and lift this up, and we're going to find the corresponding locating pin. Let's go ahead and land this post right here on the post first. Get that located up. All right, she's down. Let's go ahead and get our little red clamp assembly in there. Now we're going to take our screwdriver and we're going to tighten up these once we get it all located. This is basically the same procedure that you'll do on a Stelvio, but Stelvio is a little easier because the battery is in the center rather underneath the cargo cover. So, but the same principles apply. Now you don't want to do this but maybe one time or maybe every 3 or 4 years. Get in there. This battery should last you 4 to 5 years. You know, it's a good battery. It's a gel cell type of battery. Remember one thing on these gel cell batteries, if you do have to jump these vehicles off, it takes a while for them to pick up a charge. So if you ever have to jump it, just take your time and leave it on there for about 15 minutes before you go ahead and try to start it, because they just don't pick up a charge like a traditional vehicle. Okay, now we got our 10 millimeter, and we're going to tighten up this positive post clamp nut. Takes a 10 millimeter. It's easy to do with a quarter socket. All right, and I'm just making sure it's nice and tight. Okay, that fuse array is down, solid and good. Okay, now let's go to our negative side. We've not connected the negative, so everything's safe. I'm going to go ahead and connect this sensor and make sure our wires aren't tangled or anything like that. I'm going to set it back down exactly the way it came from the factory. I'm going to take my 10 millimeter and I'm going to tighten it down. Just take your time. All right, just about got it. All right, nice and tight. Everything's good. Now, the last thing we want to do is go ahead and take our quick connector right here. Remember, we already put a little bit of gel on the post. So we're gonna, or on this, right on the post right here that it goes to, you just want to put it on there. Make sure you got some good slack. Put it on there and snap it down. You hear that snap? All right, you pull this off, put it back down. You're gonna hear it snap. Make sure it snaps. Make sure you got a little bit of you know, slackness here, so it'll have a little bit of flex. Now we can put our cover back on. You notice it's got a little square cube here. This is where your pyrotechnic sensor is. That will blow if you have an airbag deployment to cut off power to the vehicle, so be careful working around that. And we want to go ahead and put this cover back on. Now before we do, let's take a little bit of gel and just put it on that open braze right there. Now, you know, if you want to inspect your car and not go through all this, I encourage you to clean it or have somebody clean it. But if you just put your finger on the top of those battery posts and if you got corrosion on your finger, then it needs to be cleaned. There's no doubt about it. And you saw how bad this one was. and this car wasn't even exhibiting any problems. So we put this on here, we snap it down. All right, now it's down and good, everything's tight. We can put the cover back on the door. Again, it's got a little tab locator. Put it on here. Get that down. All right, turn this half a turn. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to the car, and we're going to start it, and we're going to take care of check engine lights are going to be on because we have, oop, there's something wrong here. All right. Let's close that up. There we go. All right, got it now. All right, let's close this up. Flashlight was in the way. All right, we'll fix that in a minute. Let's go to the car. Okay, this car has 9,900 miles on it. Let's go ahead and close the door. We got our key with us. Let's go ahead and start it, see what we get. AST service, ESC service, hill hold, service dampers, service ATV system, service power steering, forward collision is showing off. All right, don't get too alarmed here. I'll show you how to fix this. All right, we got the car in park right now. Let's go ahead and put it in drive. Move down here, put it in drive, and I'm gonna keep the camera on the instrument cluster so you can see what I'm doing. I'm in natural mode, doesn't really matter, but natural mode's fine. All right, we're gonna come down here and drive just a little bit. And we're gonna make a full right hand lock turn. Bring the steering wheel all the way to lock. Lock, lock, lock. All right. Now, gonna go a little further. Do a full left lock turn all the way to the stop. Go all the way to the stop. All right. Let's come back here a few more feet. Put the car in park. Let's turn it off. All right. Start it back up. Foot on the brake. All the codes are gone, except for throttle control. So we got one more code to clear. Let's go ahead and put it in drive. Go a little further. Put it in park. Turn it off. Back on. No codes. Now remember, if you have 3 events of start-stop with all systems good, the check engine light should go out. Remember that. That's pretty much true of any car. Okay, so let's go ahead and put it in drive. For good measure, we're just going to go around the parking lot here just a little bit. If you want to do the full lock turn again, you can, but you don't have to because the steering has been corrected because you went all the way to the full lock left and right, and that cleared the steering angle sensor. All right, let's come back here for good measure. We're going to park. Put it in park. Turn it off. Okay. Remember, I'm not using a code reader. Start it back up. Everything's good. All of our check engine lights are out. We've got good continuity at the posts. We've got good charge going to the battery. As long as your battery's good, you can do this. You can do it at home. You can do it with simple tools and a little time. Do it exactly the way I said, with the negative ground off first and the negative ground on last. Okay? That's the best way to do it. All right. Well, that's today's little lesson in making sure that your Giulia Quadrafolio, or could be a regular Giulia or Stelvio, they're all the same, is running strong every single day, every day. So avoid problems, issues, false flags. You know, this is the best remedy you could possibly do for the lowest possible cost. Now, while we're at it, I want to remind you about the Alfa Romeo Club, and they're a great organization. They do a magazine called Alfa Owner. They're online at aroc-usa.org, and a wonderful magazine, great stories, all kinds of stuff about the new cars, the old cars, vendors. So it's just great, and we do a little ad in there, so little, you know, marketing here, but Benson Alfa Romeo always at your service, and we are a proud supporter of the Alfa Romeo Owners Club. If you wanted to join their group, you can go online. They have chapters all over the country, and they're doing a great national event this year in Colorado, so I hope you can join them. Anyhow, well, that's all for today, and again, my name's John. I'm with Benson Alfa Romeo. You can email me at john@bensonfiat.com, or go online and check us out at bensonalfa.com or bensonfiat.com. We're here in Greer, South Carolina. All the best to you, and I hope you have a wonderful Alfa experience, as it should be, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Ciao.